welcome back to my channel So Little Time, and my name is Karen. In today's vlog I'm going to be showing you how to make some pattern weights made from Fimo clay. So these are the pattern weights here, and they're in the shape of just like a little cupcake. So they've got like a little bit of icing on top and some sprinkles, as you can see. So I'm going to be showing you how to make these today. So firstly, what you're going to need is a rolling pin of any type, a little cutter in a shape of like your icing, if you have something similar like that in your children's Play-Doh, that would be great. If not, then you can just shape this with a knife and using your hands. You will need some washers, and these are the ones I'm using. You don't need one with a hole in at all. I just bought these as I was going to make some donut ones in the past, but the hole was actually too small. So these ones I bought from Wix, and they are a 40mm circumference. So this is the ones that I had here. And you'll need 2 for each pattern weight, so it ensures that the pattern weight is heavy enough to serve its purpose. And then you'll obviously need some Fimo clay, and I've picked up a set of 6 which are Fimo Effect, and they come in some pastel colours for this particular brand that I'm using. So there is in this pack a lilac, a yellow, a greeny kind of colour, a blue, a pink, and a sort of orangey coral colour. So that's the set of 6 I got, and I bought these from Amazon, so I'm sure you can find some on there, if not from any sort of craft supplier really. And then also you will need some of this Bake and Bond Sculpey glue, and you actually stick this on to the clay before you put it in the oven to bake. It just ensures that these sprinkles are really secure on there so they don't fall off. And then I also have glazed mine slightly. I don't know if you'll be able to see the sheen on there very well, but they have got a slight glaze, not really shiny, but it just gives it a little bit of a sheen. And the one I'm using is actually Fimo Gloss Varnish, and again I bought this off Amazon. Okay, so that's everything that you'll need to make these pattern weights. The set of 6 clays, they make 8 pattern weights in total, and they each weigh approximately about 65 grams each when they've been cooked. So I find that the 8 serves my purpose for cutting out my patterns and that kind of thing. So let's get started. Okay, so firstly then I'm going to start with just using 2 colours from the Fimo clay packets. So I shall get those opened. Okay, so when they're opened, you'll see that they have ridges on them. So what I'm going to do on each block is just cut them with a knife and have it so it's 2 ridges, so a 2 ridge section. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm just going to cut those into, so basically you will have 4 sections from each block of clay. So there you'll see a section of 2 stripes. Now I've got a chopping board in front of me with just a bit of greaseproof paper on, or baking paper, so it's just so it doesn't stick to the food board. So I'll just continue cutting these a moment. Okay, so when you've done that, you need to have your washers ready. So if you take your 2 washers, and then one of the blocks with the 2 lines, just cut a small portion off, so just about that sort of size, little cube, and you want to just roll that in your hands so it goes into a little ball, and then just squidge it down like so. So it's more of sort of a little flat round shape like that, and then you'll want to pop that in between the 2 washers there, and then just literally squidge them down. It's just so the washers are then secure, and it just makes it a bit fatter inside as well. So just like that. And then you'll need to take one more of these, well, the rest of that section that I've just cut off, and roll that into a ball. So just get it malleable in your hands and get it rolled into a nice ball. Okay, so just like that. And then when you have got it into a ball, if you just then again start plying it around with your fingers and just make it into a flat sort of pancake shape, and keep going until it's slightly bigger than your washer. Do you see? It's just slightly bigger. And that is because you want to put it on top of your washers, and then, if you can see that, like this, so you've got a little bit around the edge there, and then you just sort of want to press it against the washers, like so, and then bring the edge up, so it's just sort of meets the top washer, like this. Just sort of pat it round, like that, so basically you will have it like this, okay, like so. And then if you just take another section and again get that in your hands and start moulding it into a ball shape. Okay, and again the same, you just start squishing it down into a circle. Again, sort of just slightly larger than the washers. And then what you'll do is sandwich that on top and then just press it down lightly, and you'll see that it does have a line around the edge at the moment. So what you'll start needing to do is just using your thumb to secure that bit that you've just put on, like that, so the two bits of clay meet, and then just sort of spin it round with your fingers and your thumb so it joins, and you'll see that the join is getting a bit less visible. And then what I like to do is sort of roll it on the table or whatever your surface is, just so it gets a smoother edge, and eventually that line will start to disappear. And again, just keep messing about with it in between your fingers and thumbs until you get it, until you're happy with the shape of it really. So just keep spinning it around like that and pressing it down, and again rolling it on the table like that, and it will eventually be quite smooth. I mean, this could take a little bit of time, it depends how much of a perfectionist you are. I don't really like the line visible, but actually on the ones that I've made, I'm pretty sure some of them do have the line visible a bit there, as you can see. So, I mean, it doesn't really bother me too much. But yes, so once you are happy with that, you'll then need to take another section of the block from the other colour and then roll that in between your hands into a ball. So basically that's the base of your cupcake done, once you're happy with it. And then this section, you just roll that into a ball, and again sort of just start making it into a circle. And then what you want to do is take your rolling pin and then just roll it out, just turn it around a bit until it's again slightly bigger than the pattern weight that you've just created. And I'm doing it so it will actually fit that on top of it, but obviously if you've not got a cutter to use, then you could literally just use a tip of a knife to create the shape of some icing, or another tool that you might have. But I'm going to obviously use this cutter, which was out of a Play-Doh set, I think, or even cookie cutter set. So I just roll that out so it's the right size for mine to cut out. And then once that's right, so then I just press that down really hard. Okay, and take the excess away. Now you want to keep the excess, so just keep that to one side for now, because we will use that for the sprinkles in a bit. So then I just need to get a knife to get this off there. Now you'll see where I've cut it out, the edges are a little bit jaggedy, so I just sort of use my finger just to smooth those down, the underneath section there, just where the cutter pulled away from it, and just so it's a little bit more rounded, just like this. And then once I'm happy with that, you'll see that that is sort of like an icing shape. So then I will pop that on top of the cupcake bottom, and then again just press it round so that it sticks to it. And so you'll see like that. You could just use your fingers just to mould it down to your preference. So it just looks like the icing basically is dripping over the edge of the cupcake. Okay, so that's basically the base and the icing done. I mean, look how easy and quick that was. So the next bit obviously is to do the sprinkles, but what I find easier is to do all the cupcakes first and the icing, and then all the little bits that you've got left, then you can make the sprinkles, and I put those on last. So what I'll do is just do a few more cupcakes for you. So I'll go through it again just so you can see. As I've got one here that I made earlier. So I now have some made. So I'll just put those, I've got a baking tray just beside me with some greaseproof paper on, so I just pop them on there, so then they'll be ready to go in the oven once we put the sprinkles on. So I'm just going to open the other 2 packets then. It tells you on the back of the packets what temperature to put the oven on, ready to cook it as such, and I think it is a really low setting. It actually says on here that it is 110 degrees centigrade or 230 degrees Fahrenheit, and you just pop it in for 30 minutes. Now I've got a gas oven, so I just put it on a really low setting like gas 1 for the 30 minutes, and that is more than enough. Right, so let's get the other one. And then when you put the glue on, that will bake in the oven because it's bond and bake. I think you can basically use it on clay that hasn't been baked, and also you could, if you've baked stuff in the past out of clay and you want to add things onto it, you can also do that as well, so add additional clay onto it that way. Right, let's just cut these into sections then. So again, you cut them into 4 each block. Get those out of the way. Okay, so get your 2 washers, cut a section off of one of the blocks that you've just cut, roll that into a ball, and then just squidge that out into a circle. Sandwich that in between the 2 washers. Like that. Just so it keeps them nice and secure. And then roll up the rest of that block that you've just cut that small section from. You might find that your clay is a little bit hard. Don't worry about that. The more you handle it, the softer it will get. I had some bought for me one Christmas, and I didn't use them until I think like the summer afterwards, so I'd had them for well over 6 months, and they were still absolutely fine. But I did find when I had one in the past for way over a year, it had gone a bit too hard to use, so just bear that in mind. Fresher is better. Okay, so again, just make that into a circle, a bit larger than your weights, and then just mould it around the weights. So you bring it up to the top weight there. So it just has a slight lip over it, like that. And then just press the bottom down so it's nice and smooth. So there we go, just like that. And then take your other piece of block, and again just make that into a circle or ball, and then press that out again into a circle like so, and then pop it on top of your other one. And then just make sure that they join together, and just mould it around. that, and then just literally smooth them out on the table. These do make absolutely lovely pattern weights, I have to say. They're really nice to use when you're sewing and cutting out your patterns and things. I also use them for tracing out my patterns as well. Holds the tracing paper down whilst I'm tracing over the pattern pieces. And they make lovely gifts as well, so yeah. And also you could make these cupcakes for play food for your children, so it doesn't have to always obviously be for sewing things. Right, so there's that one. Okay, so I'm going to put a topping on that. Now what colour shall I do? I don't suppose it really matters because they're all going to be mix and match. Let's do an orange. Yeah, let's do an orange icing. Okay, so take a block with the 2 lines in, roll it into a ball, and then flatten it out into a circle a little bit. Just need to get rid of that colour on there that was stuck down from the previous one. And then get your rolling pin and just roll that out into a nice circle shape. Losing my paper now. And then get your cutter and then just really press down on that. Get it. That's it. And then take the excess away. Roll that into a ball and keep it to one side with the other one. So I've now got 2 and also another one here that I was, which I've made earlier. Let's take my knife and get that off. There we go. And again, just smooth out those little edges at the bottom just to make them more rounder. So, like that. Okay. And then when you're happy, pop them on top of your base of the cupcake and just press it down with your fingers. The joy about this clay is that actually you don't get that many finger marks on it. It's quite, you know, durable. It doesn't, it's not too squishy and it's not too hard either. So it's really pliable, but it doesn't show all your finger marks. And even today is a warm day, so the clay actually does feel a lot softer because it is a warm day and a little bit more sticky, but it's beautifully making up, so just so you know. Yeah, I'm really happy with that. Okay, so there is the cupcake ready to go. So I'm going to pop that on the baking sheet then, and what I'll do now is just continue to make the rest and then I'll show you popping the sprinkles on. Made all of your cupcakes with the icing on top and they're now ready for the sprinkles. So to make the sprinkles, first of all I've got one of the cupcakes in front of me. And to make the sprinkles, you literally just take one of those little rolled up pieces of clay, which was the scraps left over from the icing, and just take a small section of that off. You won't need the whole lot, but just maybe something that big. And then just start to roll it on your table into a worm-like shape or snake-like shape. You probably won't even need your rolling pin for this. And you just keep rolling until it's really, really thin, like a sprinkle, maybe not as thin as a sprinkle actually, maybe just slightly thicker, and just keep going, because then what you'll do is need a knife to cut this into small little pieces, so it just takes a little bit of time to keep rolling it, right, until it's really thin. Keep going. I'll show you sort of how thin mine is in a moment. Keep going. Right, so mine kind of looks a little bit like that. So very much sort of the same thickness as a thin piece of string, Just make sure there's no clay on there of the other colours. And then you literally are going to use your knife and just cut them into very small pieces, maybe a little bit even smaller than that, to your preference basically. So yeah, just like this. Probably that looks quite big on screen because I'm coming up quite close to you. And then you just want to roll it in between your fingers a little bit just to round off the edges, because when you cut it with a knife it makes it quite blunt. Yes, just make it round a bit more. And then what you'll need to do then is take your Sculpey glue, and this one I think you just twist the lid off. Let me just check that actually. Let's see if it comes out. Yeah, okay. It's white when it comes out, but it bakes clear, so you won't see anything. And obviously you won't need masses of it, so less is more, as they say. So basically if you just, I'm going to make that a bit thinner actually, sorry. I think that looked a bit fat. So let's make that sprinkle a bit thinner. And then I just take my knife with it on, and then on top of the little cupcake, put a little bit of this glue where I'm going to place. So I've just put a blob, you see that? And then I'm just going to take this and then just stick it on like that. So I've literally just squished it on top of that piece of glue. And like I say, that will dry clear. I might just take a little bit of it off away. Yeah, just maybe that was a little bit too much, but yeah, and then you just pop another bit on. So like I say, less is more, so really, really squidge it out slowly, so you just get a little bit on there, and then just cut another sprinkle. I'm using the purple at the moment, but what probably is the best thing to do is to roll out a few colours and then just cut them. Use my knife, sticking to my finger. I've got quite warm fingers because it is quite warm. And then just stick another one on, like that. And then just pick up the other sprinkle. I'm going to have to use the knife to get it off. There we go. So you'll see, you just stick the sprinkles on like that, and then you just do the same with the other colours. So I've just done 3 purple ones, and I'll take another squidge of another colour. So move that snake out of the way. And then just roll out this one. Oh, there's a bit of purple on there, don't want that. Roll like this one so it's nice and thin, and then I'll add that, and then I keep going until I think there's enough on there. It's up to you how many you have, but that's kind of how many I've had on my other ones in the past, and I quite like that amount. So on there's roughly 11 sprinkles, but I just keep going until I'd be happy with it. So if you want more, put more on. If you want less, put less on. If you want to put balls on the top, you know, they don't have to be sprinkles, you could put little balls on. That'd be quite nice. Yeah, you can make them look like little cherries or something, you know, depending on what colour clay you're working with. So keep going until it's really thin. Get it thinner than the one I did before, that's for sure. Don't like it too. Right, and then chop the end off, that's a bit of a point, don't want a point. Okay, there we go. And just pop a little bit on with the glue. Just straighten that out, it's bent. We don't want a bent sprinkle, do we? There we go. Just take a bit of that off, it's a bit big. Okay, so I'll just continue putting a few more sprinkles on, and then you'll see the finished result, and then they will be ready to bake. Baked. I've had them in the oven for 30 minutes and they're all done, so I should just show you a couple here. As you can see, so the sprinkles are nicely set on there. So now I just need to varnish them. So I've had to move location because we've now lost the light, so I've moved into the kitchen. All glamorous stuff going on here. So I'm going to move the camera down so you can see the pattern weights and how I varnish them. This okay. So I've got the varnish. and you'll see inside it actually looks white, but it does, oops, I just spilled something there. It does come out clear once it's dried. So you just get yourself a paintbrush and just dip that in, and I get this cupcake here, and you just literally go over with your paintbrush over the top as if you were varnishing your nails basically, or something. There's no finesse about it. You can just literally blob it on because it will dry clear, and it doesn't take too much time to dry at all. It would probably take about 30 minutes maximum to dry, I'd say. So I just do the top icing bit first, and then I will go around to the sides and just seal underneath the icing as well. I don't actually need the icing to be glued on because that actually gels quite well together when it's baked. It's just the sprinkles, because they're only little, they just have a tendency, if you drop the pattern weight or something, then the sprinkles will probably bounce off. I have had that happen to me in the past, which is why I then actually went in and glued them on afterwards. So yes, you can, if you get any that fall off, obviously you can glue them on with that Sculpey afterwards anyway. But yeah, so just go around and literally you can see that sheen on it. So I've just done the top and around the sides, and then what I would do is leave that to dry for the 30 minutes, and then you can do the base. So that's how I would do it. So that's basically how you do the pattern weights. So I hope you have found this tutorial useful and that you've enjoyed making them along with me, and I would really appreciate it if you actually do make these. Just tag me or send me a message and let me know how you got on. I'd really like to see them. I'm on Instagram, so I'll put my Instagram handle down the bottom for you, and all of the products that I've used today I will list in the description box below, just so you know where to get them from. They're not affiliate links. I don't have an affiliate account or anything like that, so you literally would just be clicking onto Amazon to find the products to get them, and if they don't have them, I'm sure other suppliers will, but at least you'll have all the brand names and that kind of thing. So yes, I hope you have enjoyed it, and like I said before, these don't just have to be for sewing. You can give them as gifts for other things, really, just paperweights or children's little food for their kitchen and that kind of thing. But yes, I do really like mine, so I hope you like yours. So thank you very much for watching today. Please do like this video if you've enjoyed it, and if you aren't already and you'd like to see more from me, please hit that subscribe button along with the notification bell so you know when I upload new videos. Thanks very much for watching, and I shall see you soon. Bye!